am going to, oops, I'm not muted, am I? No, good. All right, welcome everyone, but I'm not seeing my name or my picture as the speaker, doesn't matter. Welcome everyone. I am the lucky president that gets to kick off our year and our meeting today. And I'm also lucky because I have two bells. I have a bell that I got from Melly. And so we're going to start our meeting with this bell. And then we'll end our meeting with the official bell. So you can see the official bell behind me. I would like to welcome everyone. This is a pretty important program, at least from the work we've done to share the upcoming year, the goals, the vision, the thoughts, the plans. So I appreciate that you've joined us. You're going to hear some really exciting news. You're going to hear just all about the thoughts we have for the coming year. So with that, we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. All the lines will stay muted, and you can join along though as I lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, for our inspirational moment today, Allison Clark Hardesty, who is the past DRCF and past club president, will lead us in the inspirational moment. She is the Senior Vice President, Line Finance Manager at UMB Bank.
So I've been thinking a lot about what's going on in the world today, and at UMB, our inclusion and diversity groups have been considering how we act during this time of change. Our inclusion and diversity leader advises the most important things we can do right now are to listen, learn, show empathy, act with our influence, breathe, and repeat. And those thoughts are really echoed in our Rotary International statement, which reads as follows. At Rotary, we have no tolerance for racism, promoting respect, celebrating diversity, demanding ethical leadership, and working tirelessly to advance peace are central tenets of our work. We have more work to do to create more just, open, and welcome communities for all people. We know there are no easy fixes, and there are challenging conversations and work before all of us. Rotary's strength has long been our ability and commitment to bring people together. We will tap into that strength now as we stand with those who are working for peace and justice. Rotary will do our part to listen, learn, and take action to ensure that we will continue to contribute to making positive change. Rotary Club of Denver supports youth education. Our grantees support a diverse group of students, while World Community Services supports people around the world. We are around the corner and around the world. We can't let the fear of making a mistake stop us from listening and learning and acting. I invite all of you to be part of the conversation and to be inspired by the actions of individuals. And with the power of one, we will change the world.
That is the best lead-in I could ever ask for, and wasn't even scripted by me or prompted by me. So thank you, Allison, so very much. The next up is our club secretary report. So joining us today in his first ever official capacity as secretary is Troy Szymanski, who is an investment counselor. So Troy. Let's make sure you're not muted. Oh, there you are.
All right, great. Thanks, Debbie. First, let's start off with welcoming our guests. We have potential new member Thomas Longino. We have Patrick Byrne, who's a guest, as well as Dat Bowie, Kelsey Grayson, who's a guest of Audrey, and Doan Lee, Crystal Ayala. And we want to welcome all the other guests who may have just logged on that we didn't get your names for in time. Next, we have some announcements. So Lauren, who's just taken over as our sole full-timer at the Rotary office, will be on vacation. So the Rotary office will be closed tomorrow, July 10th through Wednesday, the 15th. So if the matter is urgent, please contact President Debbie Beasley or myself. Join us for a virtual happy hour tonight at 5:30. The link should be provided in our meeting recap email today, as well as the email that you followed to get to today's meeting. It should be at the bottom. And then finally, save the date. Our 17th annual peach sale is Saturday, September 12th from 8 a.m. to noon at the Rotary office parking lot. Please check your emails for a Meet the Grower message tomorrow and for our online orders to open next Friday, July 17th. If you have questions or would like to join the Peach team, please contact co-chairs Brian Juice and Kevin Shelley. Debbie?
All right. We are also bringing back announcement of birthdays, but ironically, the week we're bringing it back, we don't have any birthdays this week. So not from our Rotarians, but you'll hear about a special birthday that I'm going to talk about. So that's coming back next week as well. All right, so Melly, I am going to unmute you. And Melly is going to share with us. There we go. Melly's going to share with us an announcement about an exciting new mentoring program. So Melly, you should be good to go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, President Debbie. That's the first time I've said that. Very exciting. We've had a very enthusiastic response to the mentor program by members requesting mentors and veteran members offering to be mentors. So this is an opportunity for members of all ages, not just our youngest members who want to develop their business. And we have a wealth of talent with our veteran members, and this is an opportunity to connect and share your expertise. So if you'd like to have a mentor or become a mentor, please contact me.
Very good. Very exciting. One new program. Very, very exciting. It fits into the theme for sure. All right. I was going to mute you again, but I can't find you now. Up next, we have a new member introduction. So a new program, now a new member introduction. And I'm going to turn it over to Jim Johnston to introduce our new member.
Hello, everybody. It's been so long since I've been in front of you all speaking here on Zoom, so it's fun to just have a short portion today. As Debbie mentioned, I have the privilege of being able to introduce a new member to Denver Rotary today, and it's been too long since I've done this, so I'm glad to be doing it today. Christopher Hemingway is the individual, and he is with us today. And why don't I read a little bit about Chris, who he is to all of you, and then he wanted to have just a moment to say something as well. My wife and I met Chris and his wife on the sidelines of the soccer fields. His son, Harry, played on a soccer team for a few seasons with our son, Graham. Christopher Hemingway is the president and founder of Statera Media, a Denver-based strategy, marketing, and media planning firm that focuses on small and mid-sized companies in many different business verticals. Chris uses a data-driven approach to help his clients find new customers through digital, social, and traditional media. Sounds like stuff Rotary could always help with. Ian, you're looking for more people on the communications team, right? Prior to forming Statera Media 6 years ago, Chris worked in marketing and media for some of Colorado's biggest and best companies, such as Vail Resorts, Coors Brewing Company, the Integer Group, and Gart Companies. After growing up in Southern California, Chris moved to Colorado to attend the University of Colorado Boulder. He graduated with honors and a Bachelor of Science in Journalism. He's been married to his wife, Carrie, for 14 years. She is a senior instructor in the Department of English at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. Together, they're the proud parents of two young boys, Harry, or Harrison, who's 9, and Patrick, who's 5. Chris is not sure yet which areas of Denver Rotary he wants to actively apply his time. And he's open to your suggestions and your invitations to your committees. But here are 2 things that I will share that Chris impressed upon me. One, he is ready to give back to the community and sees Rotary as a great way to get started connecting to opportunities and being actively involved. And secondly, Rotary's 4-way test really appeals to Chris. And through his years in business, he's learned the importance of ethics and truth, and he's excited to be part of an organization of people who make this a forefront commitment. So with that, Chris, welcome to Club 31. And I'll give you a moment to unmute yourself if you'd like to share.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I really appreciate it. It's an honor and pleasure to be here today, and I'd like to, really thank you for that introduction, and thank you for introducing me to the Rotary Club 31 and your guidance over the last few months. And I'd also like to thank President Debbie and Chad Tyler for all the members of Rotary for welcoming me to the club. So I really appreciate it. I look forward to meeting all of you in person when it's possible. But would like to get to know as many of you as possible via Zoom or a phone call, and how I can help through the different committees by jumping in with both feet. So if there are any immediate opportunities, please let me know, and I'd be happy to help. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate being here today.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. It's great to have you with us. So over to you, Debbie.
All right, this is exciting. My first Rotary new member induction. It is my honor as the president and as a board member of the Rotary Club of Denver to welcome you, Chris Hemingway, to Rotary. You have been invited to join and have been accepted by the membership and board of directors of the Rotary Club of Denver to become a member of the most prestigious service organization in the world. You were selected because you and we Rotarians hold in common the humanitarian values of service, leadership, integrity, fellowship, and diversity. We invite you to engage in service opportunities, connect with fellow Rotarians in our club and beyond in order to promote peace and understanding and help us grow our club. By embracing these values, we are confident that you will discover the true essence of Rotarians, service above self. Thank you, Jim, for inviting and inspiring Chris, and thank you, Chris, for joining us. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in virtual applause to welcome our newest member, Chris Hemingway. This is like the round of applause, right? All right, thank you very much. All right, at this time, I'm going to move us to the next part of our program, which is the Denver Rotary Club Foundation Continuation of Leadership. I'd like to welcome back again Allison and also Carter Sales. Allison is the immediate past president of DRCF, and Carter is the current president and also broker principal of Carter Sales Commercial Real Estate Services. So I'll turn it over to you.
So Carter and I only have 3 minutes on the script for this portion, and so I'm not going to read out every person's name, but my heartfelt thanks to each member of the Board of Trustees for their work and service this year. And also thanks to Jill and Virgil for their efforts for their foundation. And of course, Darlene and Lauren totally rock. Couldn't have made it without you. So thank you, everyone, for everything you've done to support me throughout the year. I appreciate each one of you so much. And now I have the honor of turning the meeting over to Carter Sales as the DRCF incoming president. Carter, would you please stand?
Unmute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute. So yeah, I'll go ahead and stand. I can't, let's see, I'm looking at speaker view. So just wanted to, let me adjust my screen here. And additionally, hope everybody can hear me, but I have my lovely wife, Barbara, here today to join us for this presentation. So Allison, I see you. Excellent.
Okay, good. And Carter, in order for you to be able to see my shorts, I had to take off my shoes. So for you only, I took my shoes off.
I've got my outfit on, and I have my socks too, so we're good. We're totally prepared for Zoom meetings, as you can see.
Okay, so now we are going to do a Zoom ceremonial pin exchange. So here is your president's pin.
Okay, grab that. Oh, okay. Thank you. This is excellent. President of DRCF, excellent. Okay, now I have your past president's pin, and I'd like to hand that to you. One moment. Grab that. Here you go. You grab that.
Wow. I have it. Wonderful, Carter. Thank you so much. I'll wear it with my
thank you.
other past president's pin.
So past president of the Denver Rotary Club. So Allison, I want to ask you, did you receive something in the mail from me recently? Hopefully you did.
No, I can't. No, I really didn't.
Oh my, wait a minute. Oh, you know what happened? It's under a stack of papers here. So here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and Zoom mail this to you right now, okay? So take a look. Here it comes.
Wow. Now that is fast. That is super fantastic. And now I'm so excited to get to open up what is in this envelope through the arrived via Zoom mail, the first Zoom mail envelope ever, I suspect. Let's see. Oh, wow. Thank you, Carter. That's so nice. A great note. And one of my favorite places, Nordstrom. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Great. We thought you might be able to look at the collection of shoes and hopefully find something that might suit you. So, excellent.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Right, but wait, there's more. Johnny, tell her what she's going to get. Well, we are also presenting you with a commemorative clock with the following inscription.
Wow.
Allison Clark Hardesty, President, 2019-2020 Denver Rotary Club Foundation, in appreciation of your exemplary dedication and leadership to our foundation. Well done, and thank you.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit back down here, adjust my screen. Tell you what, yeah, there. Hello, say hello to everybody. Hi. Hello, so Laura, am I on speaker view, or I'm not seeing that on my screen, but hopefully I am. So anyway. Again, thank you, President Allison, for a wonderful year, and good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. I am so honored to be chosen as your Denver Rotary Club Foundation president, and I look forward to begin working with our Board of Trustees and Lauren as our new Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer of the foundation. I also wish to extend a special thank you to our members who support our foundation through donations, supporting our fundraisers, and gifts through our Legacy Society and endowments. Today, I'll provide a brief overview of our foundation and review my goals for the year. As most of you know, the Denver Rotary Club Foundation was founded 51 years ago to fund various Denver Rotary Club philanthropic projects. Our mission is to award grants to benefit youth and education and humanitarian efforts through our World Community Service Committee, while providing volunteer involvement from our Rotary members. Over the years, the foundation assets have grown to a high of 4.1 million, and now we stand at almost 3.2 million. Our primary investment objective is to increase the real value of our assets in perpetuity while allowing for appropriate annual grant distributions. Funds are primarily raised by direct contributions from our members in cash, memorial recognition gifts, and our automobile donation program. We also have club fundraising events such as the Peach Sale and the Woo Humanity Bike Challenge, both that are coming up on September 12th, and also our major fundraiser. In addition, we have funds that come in from gifts to our Legacy Society and the earnings from our endowments. Each year, we have a grant application process, and our grants committee awards grants in March each year. Last year, we awarded $130,000 in grants to support youth and education and international projects through the World Community Service Committee. During our 51-year history, to local and international communities. In the current issue of the Rotarian magazine, Holger Knack, who's the new president of Rotary International, said, "Rotary is not just a club that you join. It's an invitation to endless opportunities. We believe in creating opportunities for others and for ourselves. We believe that our acts of service, large and small, generate opportunities for people who need our help, and Rotary opens opportunities for us to live a richer, more meaningful life with friends around the world based upon our core values." In order to fulfill creating these opportunities, it takes two main ingredients. Number one, volunteering our time. And number two, generating money. My goals for this year are that every Club 31 member supports the foundation by donating at least $100 to the foundation. Most members already support the foundation every year. I and the trustees know that we're in the middle of very challenging and uncertain times. But if you break it down into smaller pieces, $100 over a year is about $8.50 a month, or $25 per quarter. So I invite you to take this step to support our foundation. Number two, last March, our grants committee for a new project in the amount of $7,000. So I invite our members to take advantage of this opportunity, and we will send you an application. Number three is really, it's a goal, but partnering organization with Denver Rotary is Denver Kids for the past 74 years. Throughout the years, we have always had Rotarians volunteering to mentor Denver Kids students. Presently, we do not have any Rotarian mentors for Denver Kids. So this vision and goal is that we build Rotarian involvement as mentors in Denver Kids. Last weekend, I received a call from our Rotarian of the Year, Virgil Scott, and he was very excited. And you know, Virgil does not rest. He is continuing his stellar effort to keep building our legacy society. Last fall, he established an ambitious goal to build our legacy society gifts to $1 million. Well, you know what? He did it. And what an exciting call that was. I want to extend a special thank you to Virgil for your continued dedication to our legacy society. And special thanks to our legacy society members for your generosity in making the $1 million a reality. As I conclude my remarks, two new endowments were created to honor two of our most respected Rotary family, the Wilkins Family Fund Endowment and the Donna Hulteen Excellence Award Endowment. For the past 12 years, the Denver Rotary Club, with assistance from the Hulteen family, funded the Donna Hulteen Excellence Award. The annual $500 to $1,000 cash award recognizes one Denver kid who is a high-achieving graduating senior. Last year, Donna's husband, Wally, approached the foundation to ensure that the funding for the award would continue in Donna's name. And I'm excited today to announce that the endowment is now a reality. I'm pleased to introduce Mary Penny, who was instrumental in raising the money for the endowment with the assistance of the funding from Wally Hulteen. First, Mary will introduce this year's recipient of the Donna Hulteen Excellence Award, Ariana Ricalde, to show a short video of Ariana and then review how the endowment became a reality. Good afternoon, Mary.
Am I unmuted?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
All right.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Carter. It has been my pleasure to work on this project. I didn't know Donna very well. I saw her a few times giving the award out when I first started at the club. But when she retired in 2008, our Rotary Club out of its own funds, not out of the foundation, has been paying for a scholarship for a Denver Kids student every year. And it's an important thing. A lot of these students are just have so much going on, but they really do need additional financial support. And so with that, Wally wanted to make sure that this continued in the future and that it grew. He and his daughters thought, gosh, $500 doesn't go very far anymore. Maybe we could make this bigger and get more people involved. So, so with that, being connected as a board member on Denver Kids, and then as a member of Rotary, I kind of brought the vision together that Wally was working on to make sure that the endowment happened. And it's amazing the kids that are chosen every year. My mentee was chosen several years ago, which was a great honor for her. And I just want to tell you a little bit about Ariana before we get into it, because she doesn't highlight all of these things, but Ariana Recalde is graduating from KIPP Denver Collegiate High School with a 4.0. She has been active in Peak Achievers, which is a service and activism group in high school. She's had perfect attendance for 3 years. She's been Student of the Year multiple times for her writing and compositions. She's been in the Tiger Leaders, which meets with the principal to enhance student engagement and spirit. She has worked since 2018 to earn money for her family. And she has also been involved with a Mexican folklore dance group that she loves. And she's gonna go to University of Denver and study biology and would love to be a nurse or a teacher. She seems to really have the spirit of Rotary and service above self already. So it's exciting that she got this. And with that, Lauren will play the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariana, and I am this year's Donna Teen Excellence Award winner. I would like to start off by thanking the Denver Rotarians for founding Denver Kids in 1946 and for making the Donna Teen Excellence Award possible. I would also like to thank Donna Teen, her family, and all of the other funders that put in work towards this scholarship. As a first-generation student, one of my biggest struggles has always been knowing that my parents' place here in the United States is not stable. For that reason, I always took school very seriously, because they always, my siblings and I, that they wanted us to have something to rely on in case the day ever came that they wouldn't be able to be here with us anymore. In school, I am part of Denver Kids. I've been part of Denver Kids since my freshman year of high school. I received constant support throughout high school, especially my senior year. Both of my counselors ended up leaving, and I turned to Denver Kids for support for college and the college process in general. My future options coordinator, Olivia, she let me know of a lot of scholarships to apply to, which made it possible for me to attend college this upcoming year. I also relied on Natalie for just moral support overall. Also part of a Mexican folkloric dance group for over 10 years now, and we perform at fundraisers for people who can't afford their medical bills. And we also perform at religious events as well as yearly regional competitions, which is so much fun, and I truly do enjoy doing this. I see myself doing this in college as well. This fall, I will be attending TU, and I am so excited and super grateful for everybody that put in work towards this scholarship. I wouldn't be able to attend my dream school without it, and I hope to take full advantage of it in the future. Thank you, guys.
That was great. So as you can see, she's a charming young lady and really has a lot going for her, has worked really hard and has appreciated the support of Denver Kids. And of course, Denver Kids so appreciates the support and the long-term relationship that it has with Rotary. I'm very excited to announce that we raised $30,350 to date for for the Donna Hulteen Excellence Award Scholar Endowment. And there is an additional $5,000 of legacy gifting that Bill Houston and Jane Houston have committed to. And Bill especially wanted to recognize Jane's involvement with Denver Girls. She was the first president of the Denver Girls organization. And Donna was the person who got Jane involved. Donna started volunteering with Denver Boys and Denver Girls back in the 70s. She was involved for almost 15 years as a volunteer before she actually took a position as the marketing director or development director for Denver Girls. Donna was so committed to Denver kids, and then when the merger happened in '93, she continued with different positions, and eventually in about the year 2000, she became the executive director, president of the organization, and was very active in Rotary during her time that she was involved as the executive director. Donna was tireless in her efforts, and she let everyone know how important it was to help these students, to give them mentors, to give them support, because that's how we can lift the education is what can help lift some of these students out of poverty and empower them for success in their own lives. Wally last year decided, he and his daughters decided they really wanted to make sure that this went on beyond themselves and for a long time. They feel that it's important for a Denver Kids student to have some additional financial support. And they wanted to make sure that it was more than the $500 that had been given in the past. So I reached out to a few people to just get a pulse of whether people would be interested in contributing. And it was amazing, the response. I did very little to help this process. People just were willing to give because they knew Donna and they wanted to honor her legacy and all that she had done for Denver kids and for Denver Rotary. On the screen, you can see a list of all of the people that donated. And Wally really kicked it off. I mean, Wally started with a $9,000 contribution, and he said, "I'll match if you can get another $9,000." And so we did that. And then, as you can see, Bill and Jane Houston gave at a good level. And then the $1,000 level was Alice Bullwinkle, Bill Heinschel, Roger Kinney, Jim Mack, Jerry Middle, Charlie Miller, myself, Mike Severns, and Pete Wall. And then at the under 1,000 level was Billy Brown, Mark Cloart, Carter Sales, and Margaret and Robert Fomer. Sorry. Future commitments are Bill and Jane Houston and Chuck and Marty Everell. So as these endowments, once they reach 25,000, they do continue, and people can make contributions in the future. They would certainly welcome any future contributions from anybody if they were so inclined and hadn't heard about this before. But it's exciting that it's in place, and I'm excited that I was able to be a part of it. So, and I'm just excited for the Denver kids that get to win this in the future. So thank you to Rotary, thank you to Denver kids, and the wonderful relationship that we've had for 70 years.
And thank you, Mary. Mary is not only my friend, she is my sponsor for Rotary Club. So I thank you for both of those very precious gifts. All right, with that, I'm going to move us to the next part of the program, which is around the vision for the year and also a really important budget and dues update. You know, as I thought about the vision, really as a incoming president, you begin working on this months in advance. And I attended both the large club conference and the president-elect training. And it was at that time that I thought of the power of one. So you'll hear a little bit more about that. Before I do that, I want to thank past President Jim Johnston for his amazing leadership. I think about the metaphor standing on the shoulder of giants, and I looked that up, and it says, using the understanding gained by major thinkers who have gone before in order to make intellectual progress. So I'd like to thank the past presidents before me because it's a legacy that I'm proud and humbled to carry on. I'm going to share my screen with a couple of slides on the leadership piece. Let me do that. There, can you see it? I think so. All right, so it's a vision, it's a mission for the club, and it's all centered around the power of one. When I think about what that means, it really means that one thing can spark a big change. I got this quote from my dear friend Harriet Downer, who's on the phone. Never ever depend on governments or institutions to solve any major problems. All social change comes from the passion of individuals. I think that's what drives so many of us in Rotary. And so it is really the foundation for what I'd like to see this year build upon. The power of one to me, so one is not the loneliest number, it's the easiest number. And as Rotarians, I think we can all find one more thing, or one more thing. We've seen examples of it in the meeting today. Introduce yourself to one new member or guest. Join or attend one new committee meeting. Every single committee is open to guests. So please come at any time, stay as long as you'd like. Lots of options there. Participate in one new project. Volunteer for one new opportunity. Sign up for one inspirational moment. And last but not least, sign up for one more check, or write one more check. I could not leave that one out. Carter talked about it. Want to make sure we support both the Denver Rotary Club Foundation and the Rotary Foundation and the great work we do in the community. When I think of one, I thought, what does that really mean, and how can we build upon that? One, outreach for O. N, new beginnings. E, I think of engagement. I'll quickly go through some of these. I want to make sure we spend enough time on the budget and the dues. But for outreach, really, let's think about that new big project. What is our sweet spot? How can we look at and evaluate the creation of a rapid response team? Our service team, Lisa Goulias and Mark Whipper, they're in support of this concept. So how can we make that happen? How can we make it really work? Let's talk about membership and meeting approach. We are in a new age with Zoom, new tools in our toolkit. How do we use and leverage those tools going forward? We have a lot of guests today that are from both parts of the country, from California to Florida. So how do we leverage that going forward? As Allison said in her inspirational moment, listen and learn. Folks have said to me, they like Zoom. All the time? Maybe not, but let's see how can we leverage it going forward. And as Rotarians, every single one of us can find one way to do outreach, one more way or one new way. In terms of new beginnings, how can we develop, support, and lead through our strategic planning process, which we're calling Quest 31. So you've seen surveys, hopefully you've participated, there's work that's underway, there will be more to come on that, and we've already blocked off time to share ongoing updates with you about what we're finding and what we're discovering and what we're planning. Again, and also then flourish under one executive director support model. So Lauren has just stepped in without a hiccup, and as our new executive director, couldn't be happier that's how it's played out. And then again, for new beginnings, as Rotarians, find one way for you personally to plug into this great work. Finally, engage. We want to make sure we provide a welcoming and inclusive environment. Introduce a new member. So that happened today too, so very exciting. Let's continue to explore digital capabilities like Zoom and others, and how we can provide technology support as we use various capabilities within these tools. And finally, again, as Rotarians, find one way or one more way to engage. I want to share with you the 2020-2021 Board of Directors. The asterisk indicates who are the new incoming board members. Also want to thank outgoing Board of Directors Ben Allen, Melissa Bowen, Susan Brushaber, Debbie Kaufman, and Chad Tyler. And then also our 2020-2021 Executive Committee. Ian Campbell continues as communication and is, of course, our president-elect now, not president-elect nominee. Chris is continuing as our treasurer, Jim as our past president, Jill and VP fundraising, Lisa and Mark, our VPs of service, Troy, secretary, Rick Luthol, VP market meetings and events, and Chad Tyler, VP membership. So again, the asterisk indicates those that are new to the executive committee, and a big thanks to our outgoing executive committee members, Jeff Kleinschmidt, Doug McLemore, and Brian Sweet. Before I talk about the budget, I do want to say a couple things about some new projects. So when we talk about the Power of One, we think about the new things that we can do, the new things that we're continuing to explore, new partnerships. There's a couple things I want to highlight that will be shared in upcoming meetings. One is a project, let me take it off screen for a second. There we go. So one is a project that Felicia Muftick has led, and I'm going to put into the chat a link to a video about a project that's happened in Bosnia. So in the chat to everyone is a link to the YouTube on this project, where within Bosnia, most of the girls don't go past 4th grade, and Bosnia is the poorest country in Europe. And based on that work, and in combination with 9 other clubs, 9 total clubs in Colorado, including us, led by Felicia, a club in Bosnia, and also a club in Grand Cayman, and along with matching Rotary International Foundation funds, $46,000 was granted to improve the basic education for girls in Bosnia. So I want to thank Felicia. I know she's on the line. It's just really impressive that that's part of our club and being led by someone as talented as Felicia. So thank you for that. We plan to use a future meeting to talk about some of those projects, and also Bill Korstad had a grant that was recently approved. So some good news there, some good news on the Bosnia project. Another piece of good news that I wanted to share is that our club, thanks to Ian Campbell, the communications team, and the entire Rotary Club of Denver, received the Ed Demus Communications Award from the Littleton Rotary Club. So we will have the Littleton Rotary Club join us at a future meeting to present to us the award itself. So that's very exciting. I also have some Denver kids testimonials that Carter shared about the granting that we did for them that we want to talk about in upcoming meetings. And also one more thing that's new that we can talk about in an upcoming meeting is there is a 7th area of focus that Rotary International has added, which is environment. So that's very exciting. So I just hope you'll join me on this journey. It's really an exciting time, and the Power of One means a lot to me. Today, honestly, happens to be my mom's birthday. And I wish you were here to see this and to celebrate with us, but my sisters can attest that every time I would walk out the door, whether it was my sisters or myself, we'd end a phone call. My mom would always say, oh, wait, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. So in honor of my mom, think about that one more thing that you can do, that one new thing you can try, that one new hello you can make, that one new introduction you can do. So thank you very much. That's the vision for the year. And you'll hear about it as we go through the year. And what I also think is so important about that is that we're linked into the past with what Jim Johnston has laid the foundation for, and we're connected into the future with what Ian Campbell is planning. So good, strong connection there. All right, with that, we're going to talk a little bit now. I'm going to shift gears to the budget and to dues. I am going to share my screen again. All right, so just to kind of lay the foundation, there are 4 different budgets that we really work around. One is the Rotary Club of Denver operating budget. That's the budget we're going to be talking about today. There's also the Denver Rotary Club Foundation, the budget that Carter oversees. They have an operating and granting budget. There's also the Rotary Foundation, which really isn't a budget per se, it's our goals that we put forth in the year. And we also have a 4th kind of budget, which is a Rotary Club of Denver account. We have savings that have built up, proceeds from a building sale, etc. So to just kind of set the stage, what the Rotary Club of Denver operating budget includes are major income categories such as dues and a DRCF reimbursement. So DRCF gets support from both Lauren and Darlene, who will continue in a part-time accounting manager capacity. So that is part of the income to the club. Expense categories include staff, operating expenses, committee, meals, and organization. So things in the operating expenses category include the cost of the office, insurance, bank and credit card charges, among others. We're always looking for ways to save money. The lease on the office expires in September of 2021. So we're already talking about what that might look like and how to prepare and hopefully exit out of that, and what that means and what all the work involved to get us there. Organizational expenses include things like we pay dues to Rotary International and District, and among others. What the Rotary Club of Denver operating budget does not include are DRCF expenses, that's in their budget, and any special club and board approved expenses such as the strategic planning Quest 31 effort. When we started to work on the budget this year, spent a lot of time with thanks to Darlene, Lauren, Chris Peters. Jim helped with the work he had done to lay the foundation, but really there were 3 things in mind. Keeping in mind the club members, the club, and delivering a balanced budget. We've done all 3. Chris, before we talk about the dues and the dues structure, I would like to turn it over to Chris Peters for a couple minutes to talk about the kind of the numbers part of it. And Chris, let's unmute you.
I think we should be good. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can, thanks.
All right, perfect. Just a couple of items wanted to highlight here in the budget, mostly on the expense side, which is really going to allow us to have the dues conversation today. And that is with Darlene's retirement and Lauren's promotion, we anticipate that the staff expenses should be down approximately $49,000 for this coming fiscal year. In meal expenses, since we're doing a vast majority of the meetings on Zoom currently and anticipate potentially continuing that into the future, we have budgeted for meal expenses to decline about $31,000. And then also just the office and operation costs should be down about $3,500. And so overall, with Rotary International dues and district dues remaining relatively flat, that gives us a lot of flexibility to look at our dues structure for the next year. And so we're going to talk about here in a moment about what that might look like for the first quarter. And then also too, on active exempt and active evening, those will remain the same for now and will be reevaluated along with all the membership categories during the first quarter of this year, kind of in context with Quest 31. So that's the primary moving parts in the budget, and some really exciting expense reductions coming up for the year, which is going to give us a lot of flexibility. So with that, I'll shoot it back to you, Debbie.
All right, and thank you. Before I go back to the other slide, you know, as Chris mentioned, one of the goals was to deliver a balanced budget. So you'll see that this budget balances to zero. It also assumes a few things. It assumes that for this first quarter, we'll continue to meet on Zoom. Now, that doesn't mean that if we have an opportunity to meet in person and restrictions are lifted and we feel comfortable that we get together in September, that we won't do that. It means that there's just a number of things in the budget that impact both income and expense. Meals impact it, number of members. So we will continue to look at those things and how they impact the budget. Most importantly, what we have looked at and are proposing to the club is to reduce active ordinary member dues from $365 to $250 for the first quarter, July through September 2020. We can deliver that based on the expense saves that Chris talked about, and looking to really make sure we protect the club from its just financial foundation, but also the members. We would keep active evening and active exempt at the same at $175. During this next 3-month period, we'll work with the membership team and the programs team to figure out what should the meeting structure look like in the future. It is a new world. And so how do we adapt to a combined in-person Zoom format with meals, without meals, and how does that all work? But what I will commit to you is that we will look at it on an ongoing basis and bring updates back to this club on a quarterly basis, if not more frequent than that. The proposal would also put a kind of hold on the active evening program through this first quarter while we work through what the new dues and membership structure may look like. So that is the proposal on the table that the club needs to vote on today. Do you approve of a dues reduction for active ordinary members for $250 for the first quarter of the year, July through September 2020? In order to vote, what we'd like you to do is, if you oppose this, if you are against a dues reduction to $250 for active ordinary, if you are opposed, please raise your hand. If you support it, you may just keep your hands folded in your lap. I'm scrolling. I am not seeing any dissenters. If you are not on video and you'd like to send a chat, please do. All right, so moved. So for the first quarter, the dues will be reduced to $250. We'll continue to share updates with you and commit to you an ongoing transparency and responsibility, a fiscal responsibility around the budget and our goals. I think we've talked about all that. All right, so a few closing comments. As my mom would say, and happy birthday, Mom, find one more thing, do one more thing, say one more thing. Please be the one. Think about the power of one, the outreach you can do, the new beginnings you can do, and the engagement that you can do. We don't have time for questions today. If you have them, please, at any time, reach out to me by email. I can put that in the chat. I've been in communication with many of you already, so hopefully you've got that, but I'll put that in there. I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. All right. And there's David Dickman saying, of course, with the dues reduction, it should be easier for members to contribute 100 to DRCF and TRF. Okay, I'm gonna think one great club, two great foundations. That's my mantra. All right, with that, so please reach out anytime. Listen and learn. I'm gonna take that from Allison. Be the one and help our club continue to, be the magical place that I find it in my soul. With that, I have some final announcements. I hope that you can join us next week for our online program again by Zoom. It's a week from today, Thursday, July 16th. Fellowship begins at 11:45 and the meeting starts at noon. The topic is Project Cure. I was there on Monday night volunteering with my husband through the Rotary Club of Denver and our volunteer night there. Such an amazing place. Doug Jackson, who is the past club president, and he's the president and CEO of Project Cure, will be our speaker. It looks to be a phenomenal meeting and a phenomenal speaker. Bring a guest. By Zoom, it's pretty easy. And I hope to see you next week. And with that, we're going to end on the Rotary four-way test. So your lines will be muted, but please feel free to join along.
Is it the truth?
Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? With that, on the Super Bell, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.